Ogunbowale was arrested after punching a security guard in the face in a Miami nightclub.
The business of professional sports is an ecosystem built entirely on image, perception, and marketability. The product being sold to the public is not just the game of basketball. The product is the athlete. The product is the brand. When a labor union sits across the table from a group of billionaire owners and demands to be treated like global icons, they are implicitly promising to carry themselves with the discipline, the restraint, and the corporate responsibility of global icons. You cannot demand the financial leverage of a corporate titan while simultaneously operating with the reckless, volatile impulsivity of an amateur. For the last 12 months, the Women's National Basketball Association Players Association has launched a relentless, highly coordinated public relations campaign. They want you, the consumer, to believe that they are the most hyper-professional, underappreciated, and unfairly compensated workforce in the history of modern sports. They have demanded a 50% split of all league revenues. They have demanded guaranteed maximum contracts. They have demanded that the owners open their private financial books. The mainstream sports media has dutifully repackaged this narrative and sold it to the American public as a righteous, noble crusade for equity. But behind the carefully curated press conferences and the sanitized social media posts, the facade of supreme professionalism is violently cracking. The entitlement has reached a boiling point, and the players are actively handing the billionaire owners the exact ammunition they need to completely destroy the union at the negotiating table. We are no longer talking about abstract revenue splits. We are talking about severe, catastrophic business liabilities. We are talking about the face of a franchise, a multi-time all-star being arrested in a Miami nightclub for physically assaulting a working-class security guard.
Slater scoop! WNBA all-star Arike Ogunbowale was arrested on Thursday while celebrating her team's unrivaled basketball championship at Club 11 in Miami. Police sources tell me she punched a man in the face and he fell to the ground. It was also caught on.
What you just heard is not a minor tabloid rumor. It is a devastating structural blow to the entire public posture of the WNBA. To understand the sheer magnitude of this public relations disaster, you have to understand the timing. The WNBA is currently locked in the most hostile, high-stakes collective bargaining agreement negotiation in the history of the sport. The players' union is actively threatening a league-wide strike. They are playing a massive game of corporate chicken with the ownership group, demanding that Adam Silver and the league executives hand over the keys to the financial castle. The union's entire foundational argument is built on the premise that the players are elite, indispensable professionals who deserve guaranteed, multi-million-dollar investments. And right in the middle of this incredibly delicate, high-stakes leverage game, Arike Ogunbowale, one of the most recognizable faces in the entire league, gets arrested for punching a man in the face at Club 11 in Miami. This is not just a bad look, this is a massive corporate liability. When a billionaire owner or a global sponsor like Nike, Gatorade, or State Farm looks at an athlete, they do not just look at their scoring average, they look at their risk profile. Corporate America is highly risk-averse. They invest millions of dollars into marketing campaigns built around the idea of family-friendly, empowering, inspirational athletic figures. When one of those figures is caught on security camera, knocking a nightclub employee to the ground, it shatters the entire corporate illusion. Let us break down the specific structural dynamics of this incident, because the details exposed in the police report are absolutely damning for the player and the league.
First place. TMZ Sports obtained the complaint. Officers were notified of a physical altercation that broke out inside 11. When approaching the rear exit of the club, the officer stated a large crowd was being escorted out by security. The officer made contact with the alleged victim, who claimed he was attempting to escort 29-year-old Ogunbowale out of the club due to an unrelated altercation. So there's already an altercation. She's getting escorted out because of it.
Listen to the sequence of events. This was not a random misunderstanding. This was not a situation where a professional athlete was simply defending herself from an unprovoked attack. According to the official police report, there was already an unrelated physical altercation taking place inside the club. The security team, whose entire job is to mitigate liability and protect the venue, was executing a standard protocol. They were escorting a large crowd, including Ogunbowale, out of the rear exit to de-escalate the situation. The security guard was doing his job. He was managing a chaotic environment, and instead of acting like a seasoned 29-year-old professional athlete who understands the target on her back, she allegedly turned around and struck him in the face with a closed fist, sending him directly to the floor. Think about the psychological entitlement required to execute that action. When you are a highly paid public figure, You understand that every single room you enter is filled with cameras. You understand that your physical body is a multi-million-dollar corporate asset. But the current culture within the WNBA has convinced these veteran players that they are completely untouchable. They have been coddled by the media, shielded from valid criticism, and told repeatedly that they are the victims of a systemic power structure. When you constantly feed an athlete the narrative that the world owes them respect, you breed a dangerous level of arrogance. They begin to believe that the normal rules of society, the normal rules of professional conduct, no longer apply to them. And this toxic bubble of entitlement is actively reinforced by the very people covering the sport. Look at how the mainstream sports media immediately reacted to this violent arrest. Look at the absolute lack of accountability.
I'm sorry. Andy Cosmo says, Arike is home safely per Unrivaled Sport. What do you mean home safely? What do you know, she's the one that punched the... Did he make it home safely? Is he okay? Is he okay? Did he have to go to get stitches? Did he have to go to the hospital?
Pause and truly analyze the sickness of that media reaction. A WNBA superstar is arrested for battery after violently striking a working-class security guard in the face. And the immediate response from a prominent sports media figure is to tweet that Arike is home safely. They do not care about the victim, they do not care about the security guard who was just trying to do his job, making a fraction of what this athlete makes, who was assaulted in his workplace. The media instinct is to instantly protect the WNBA player, to coddle the aggressor, and to frame her as the one whose safety we should be concerned about. This is the exact media complicity that creates a monster. When a player knows that the journalists covering the league will blindly defend them, twist the narrative in their favor, and ignore their violent transgressions, why would they ever check their own behavior? Why would they ever exercise discipline? They have been given a cultural blank check to act as recklessly as they desire. But while the media might coddle the players, the billionaire owners sitting across the negotiating table absolutely will not. The WNBA players have entirely misread their position in the cultural and economic hierarchy. They look at LeBron James or Patrick Mahomes, and they believe they possess the exact same level of institutional leverage. But LeBron James and Patrick Mahomes operate leagues that generate tens of billions of dollars in guaranteed global revenue. The WNBA is just barely beginning to turn a profit, and that profit is almost entirely driven by the arrival of Caitlin Clark. The veteran players do not have the leverage they think they do, and this arrest is going to be weaponized by the ownership group in a way the union is completely unprepared for. This brings us to the explosive, undeniable endgame of this entire saga, the bold theory that nobody in the mainstream media has the courage to articulate. Adam Silver and the WNBA owners are not going to ignore this nightclub arrest. They are going to use it to absolutely crush the Players Association at the negotiating table. The Players Union has been aggressively demanding fully guaranteed contracts. They want the security of knowing that even if they underperform, even if they get injured, or even if they become a public relations nightmare, they will still receive every single penny of their multi-million-dollar deals. The owners are going to take the police report from Club 11, slide it across the boardroom table, and say, absolutely not. Why would an ownership group guarantee a massive financial contract to an athlete who lacks the basic emotional intelligence to walk out of a nightclub when asked by security? If a player is a walking liability, the owner must retain the contractual right to cut them, void their money, and protect the franchise brand. The union is fighting for leverage, but their own members are actively destroying it. The owners will demand extreme morality clauses. They will demand strict behavioral guidelines. And if the players' union refuses to accept those terms, the owners will simply point to the mugshot of one of their biggest stars and lock them out.
That for no reason, I'm on her side. Yeah, it was his fault. He should have known who she is. He should have known her jersey number, what team she plays for, her stats. Maybe he did. Maybe he knew all that. Maybe he picked her up, escorted her out. Hey, aren't you the one who went 0 for 11 from 3 in the game? What'd you say to me? Boom! Hate to see it.
The commentator jokes about the security guard not knowing who she was, or perhaps bringing up her poor shooting percentages before the punch was thrown. It is a humorous take, but it highlights a very dark psychological truth about the ego of the modern professional athlete. These veteran players demand absolute deference. They demand to be recognized as global superstars. And when they encounter a working-class individual in the real world who does not bow to their perceived status, their fragile egos completely shatter. The WNBA cannot survive if its veteran leadership operates like a street gang. The league is desperately trying to capitalize on the massive influx of family-friendly viewership brought in by the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. The corporate sponsors are pouring money into the league expecting a clean, marketable, highly professional product. When a player from the old guard gets arrested for a violent nightclub brawl while celebrating a championship in a meaningless off-season startup league, it sends a terrifying message to the corporate world. It says that the culture of the WNBA is toxic. It says that the players are unmanageable. It says that the investment is not safe. The players' union thought they could bully the owners into handing over half the league's revenue. They thought they could threaten a strike and force the billionaires to surrender. But the billionaires have the ultimate trump card. They have patience. They have infinite capital. And now, thanks to the reckless arrogance of the players themselves, the owners have the perfect justification to enforce total, unyielding corporate control over the workforce. The WNBA players are playing checkers, while the owners are playing high-stakes corporate chess. And the players just handed their queen directly to the opposition. I want to hear from you. Drop down into the comments right now. Do you think the WNBA owners will use this arrest to deny the players guaranteed contracts in the new CBA? Should a player be suspended by the league for punching a security guard, or is the media going to successfully sweep this entirely under the rug to protect her image? Let me know your thoughts down below. If you want the aggressive, unapologetic truth about the business of sports, the leverage games played behind closed doors, and the stories the mainstream media refuses to cover honestly, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and share this video everywhere. We do not do sanitized public relations narratives here. We expose the raw reality hiding in the shadows. Stay sharp. I will see you in the next one.